Shalom, fellow students of Yahusha. If we want to enter into the reign of the heavens, there is a standard of righteousness that we need to produce in our walk. For I say to you that unless your righteousness exceeds that of the scribes and Pharisees, you shall by no means enter into the reign of the heavens. We should be paying special attention to Yahusha's rebuke of the Pharisees, because if we are, then we are on our way to producing righteousness that exceeds that of the scribes and Pharisees. Here is a noteworthy instance of Yahusha's rebuke to the Pharisees. Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, because you tithe the mint and the anise and the cumin and have neglected the weightier of the Torah, the right ruling and the compassion and the belief. These need to have been done without neglecting the others. Our righteousness needs to prioritize the heavier matters of the Torah without neglecting the others. The Pharisees prioritized small matters, the washing of vessels and tithing herbs, and neglected righteous justice, empathetic kindness, and steadfastness in the teachings of Yahuwah and Yahusha. Mashfat, chasad, amunah. Let Yahusha's word be foundational to our approach and understanding of walking out Yahuwah's instructions. I would like to highlight a teaching of Yahusha's that I see lacking in some of those who claim belief in Yahuwah. As Yahuwah wakes us up to his truth, he eventually brings us others who believe similarly. And as history has proven in this age, when people come together, conflict soon follows. What should set us apart is that when conflict arises, we take action to create resolution, because is it not written that Baruch are the peacemakers, those who create shalom out of conflict? Yahusha has given us a word, and if the parties involved in a conflict are indeed obedient to his teachings, resolution should naturally be reached quickly. A conflict that is festering and persists is the fruit of at least one of the parties being disobedient to his teaching, whether that be intentional or done in ignorance. Consider the nature of these teachings and note how it prompts action for either side of conflict between siblings in Yahuwah. Take heed to yourselves. If your brother sins against you, rebuke him, and if he repents, forgive him. And if he sins against you 7 times in a day, and 7 times in a day comes back to you saying, I repent, you shall forgive him. And if your brother sins against you, go and convict him between you and him alone. If he hears you, you have gained your brother. In a typical conflict, there is a side that is offended. Sometimes both sides are offended. We as students of Yahusha need to heed this teaching. Yahusha commands us to be confrontational, not to create war, but instead shalom, peace. If we are holding on to a grudge and the other party is unaware, your anger will fester in you and can bear the fruit of hate and even murder. Yahusha's teaching comes from Yahuwah and is why we see harmony with his words and the Torah. Do not hate your brother in your heart. Reprove your neighbor for certain and bear no sin because of him. Do not take vengeance or bear a grudge against the children of your people, and you shall love your neighbor as yourself. I am Yahuwah. If we have an issue with someone, let us speak with them about it in hopes to create shalom and to gain your sibling. In my experience, even though you may be emotionally affected by the issue, when coming to the sibling, it is wise to state exactly what the offense was without name-calling, harsh language, or provoking remarks. You can be sharing this in gentleness and still receive unruly behavior in return, but you cannot control others. Be obedient to Yahusha's word and be clean. But do not hide issues, because the disobedience to this creates sin that will bear its fruit in time. There's another side to Yahusha's teaching on resolving conflicts that needs to be considered. But I say to you that whoever is wroth with his brother without a cause shall be liable to judgment. And whoever says to his brother, Raka, shall be liable to the Sanhedrin, but whoever says, you fool, shall be liable to fire of Gehenna. If then you bring your gift to the slaughter place, and there remember that your brother holds whatever against you, leave your gift there before the slaughter place, and go. First make shalom with your brother, and then come and offer your gift. Be well-minded with your opponent promptly while you are on the way with him, lest your opponent deliver you to the judge, and the judge to the officer, and you be thrown into prison. In this word, do I see not only the weighty warning to not call an akh even a fool, but furthermore, Yahusha prompts us that if we know our sibling holds anything against us, we go to them to create shalom, and we go to them promptly, not letting a grudge fester for many months or years. If you're paying attention, the obedient to his word would be a people going to their sibling when they have an issue and will seek shalom with those who seem to have an issue with them. Both sides of a conflict, if obedient, would be taking action to produce shalom. They would confront one another, not as the world is confrontational, but in the full teaching of Yahuwah, not lacking the upright fruits of having Yahuwah's Ruach dwelling within. Is shalom not being created because of an unintentional ignorance to this teaching, or an intentional act of disobedience and the following of a different Torah? If we are people of Yahusha, we would follow his commands. If we follow his commands, we would be following Yahuwah's commands because his word is from Father Yahuwah. If you stay in me and my words stay in you, you shall ask whatever you wish, and it shall be done for you. In this my Father is esteemed, that you bear much fruit, and you shall be my taught ones. As the Father has loved me, I have also loved you. Stay in my love. If you guard my commands, you shall stay in my love, even as I have guarded my Father's commands and stay in his love. These I have spoken to you, so that my shamcha, joy, might be in you, and that your shamcha might be complete. This is my command, that you love one another as I have loved you. No one has greater love than this, that one should lay down his life for his friends. You are my friends if you do whatever I command you. No longer do I call you servants, for a servant does not know what his master is doing. But I have called you friends, for all which I heard from my Father I have made known to you. Let us walk this word into more application as friends of Yahusha, and see the completion of shamcha, joy, coming from obedience. Shalom.